what the marketing guys gave me. Look, check it out. Listen. You love this.
It's clobbering time!
It's catchy, right? Isn't that great?
Clobbering time!
Just like Superman, I went into this movie with absolutely no expectations. The trailers didn't make it look bad, but I wasn't exactly excited, yada yada yada. I've already said this many times before this year. And just like Superman, I walked away from the Fantastic Four First Steps thoroughly entertained. It definitely feels like Marvel and Disney have been going through a lot of changes behind the scenes when it comes to the future of the MCU, but we haven't really been able to see any of those plans come to light until now. But now, Marvel seems to be focusing more on the future of this franchise, and brushing everything that was too far along in development to be cancelled under the rug. Specifically streaming projects like Agatha All Along, Ironheart, and even more popular shows like Loki Season 2, which had much less marketing compared to the first season. Now, I can't speak on the quality of any of these shows because I didn't watch them, but if they're anything like Marvel's theatrical offerings, then they probably range from just good enough to downright awful. Basically, what I'm saying is, you should... Oh wait, wrong script. Basically, what I'm saying is, Marvel is treating this film as a sort of rebirth project, and while the future of the MCU may still be a little shaky, both this and Thunderbolts are hopefully the foundation needed for a return to form for Marvel. So let's get right into the Fantastic Four First Steps. The story follows the Fantastic Four in an alternate version of the 1960s, who now have to face off against an intergalactic threat named Galactus who eats planets. Also, Sue Storm and Reed Richards are having a baby, which is why the movie is called First Steps. I'll start by saying that the performances were way better than I was expecting. You know how MCU acting is nowadays. Specifically Pedro Pascal. He's a fine actor, I don't really have anything against the man, but he has fallen into the habit recently of playing himself in a bunch of stuff. Fortunately, he remembered what acting is for this film, and especially near the climax of this movie, offers some emotional and intelligent performances. All the other actors did a great job as well, but by far my favorite performance has to be Ralph Ineson as Galactus, who brings a certain presence with his voice and greatly complemented the character. And that is the most important aspect that any Fantastic Four adaptation needs to get right. The Fantastic Four's individual and distinct characteristics are why so many comic book readers fell in love with them in the first place, and I'm glad to say that this is the best version of the team's main couple put to screen. Previous versions of Mr. Fantastic just didn't seem to nail the whole smartest man alive thing. Either they would just write him as a generic nerdy geek, or in the case of Multiverse of Madness, make him seem like the dumbest man alive, so it was nice to see a version of the character that could feasibly be given his proper title. Sue Storm, while not being that poorly written in previous movies, wasn't particularly given much to do. She would usually be given the smallest role, which definitely isn't the case here, as she might have the most important role to fill in this movie. But just because she has the most important role doesn't mean she hogs all the spotlight, as each member of the team is given a time to shine and show off what makes them special. Oh yeah, I guess I should talk about Johnny and Ben. They're fine. They're okay characters, but I will say I prefer the 2005 versions more. Their dynamic was just so well executed in that film, and was greatly helped by the joyous acting of Chris Evans and Michael Chiklis. Well, I talked about what I liked, so now let's talk about the negatives the movie has. The CGI is a little iffy. Luckily, they used their resources where it really mattered, like Galactus and the Thing, and I overall enjoyed the alternate 60s look everything had, but there were certain moments where it could have used a little more work. Specifically the Silver Surfer CGI, which, especially around the face, looked super wonky. It's not nearly as bad as other Marvel film CGI, and it didn't affect my enjoyment of the movie overall, but it really says something when Disney, which is pumping hundreds of millions of dollars into these things, can't manage to do better than early aughts computer graphics. But hey, maybe that has something to do with them overworking and underpaying their CGI artists. In summary, The Fantastic Four First Steps is thankfully a movie I can say I had a good time watching. I think this year is really proving that superhero fatigue isn't really a thing. People aren't fed up with superhero media in general, they're just sick of bad superhero media. The truth is, superheroes are fun to watch and fun to write. And I'm glad that we finally realized that these type of movies and shows should be allowed to breathe and focus on just being entertaining. That's all I got for now. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and hit that bell icon to be notified for whenever I make a new video. The next review should be Mafia: The Old Country, so if you're interested in that, or interested in supporting the channel more, then turn notifications and check out my other videos. Okay, that's it. Bye.